Hi, I'm Lynn Rush, and I'm on the Kitchen Planning Committee.
And I'm Britt Carlson, and I'm our Pastor of Community Life, and I'm also on our Rest of the Basement Committee.
And we want to take you through some of the ideas that both these committees have talked about in terms of remodeling and updating our space down here.
So Lynn is going to take you on a tour of our kitchen, and then I'm going to take you on a tour of the rest of our basement.
So I'm going to give an update on our kitchen planning for the remodel. I'm on the committee. Sarah Kaufman is chairing it, and Lori Nussbaum is also on it. So together we're working with the architect to talk about the possibilities of the kitchen. And I'll start out here. One of the things we're talking about is to gain some additional circulation space in the kitchen by moving this front counter out into the room about a foot or two, probably about a foot. And underneath it there would be some cabinets. These doors would probably go away, which are somewhat problematic to open and close anyway. And we would increase the size of the opening to let more of the natural light from outside come into this basement space. So those are the main changes you would see out here. The opening may not be quite as long because on this other end we're talking about another door, so we have better circulation as opposed to just the one door we currently have. So I think that's pretty much it for out here. So at this end of the basement where the current refrigerators are will be a dish table along the wall, and then in the back corner the plan is to have a dish machine, an upright dish machine that we would fill the racks and they would slide into the machine, be washed, and then slide out this way on a table along this wall. And this is where then that other door would be for access to the dish table to return dishes and those types of things. We also talked about and haven't finalized another possible window so that people could just put their dishes into the dish table and help with the circulation that way. Moving down the side then, there would be some counter space here for preparation. Again, sinks. We may not have the 4 sinks we currently have, but might have 3. That's not finalized yet. And then right where these cabinets are currently here would be large, more commercial sized refrigerators with 2 doors, and they would hold a lot more than the current refrigerators. And then on around the corner on the back wall here is actually where the stove and oven would be. We're talking about removing this chimney in the corner. It's no longer used, and so it does take up some room here. So that'll depend on the cost, whether or not that's done. The other thing we're talking about here with this swinging door is taking that out and actually putting a pocket door in here. It seems like it would help with the flow better in and out of the space. A couple other things we talked about. There's this warming cabinet, the stainless steel warming cabinet, which is basically only used at potlucks. We're talking about making space in the current furnace room to store that. Also in that room would be a freezer. And then we're talking also about getting some trays for when people need to take the meals somewhere else. And so there would be a cart with trays and silverware on it, which also would be, when not being used, stored in the furnace room. So we feel that that would give a lot more circulation space. As I mentioned, this cabinet here, or this counter here, would be extended out into the other basement area by about a foot, and this side of it would come up to the post, either one side or the other. So it would gain more circulation space so people could work on both sides and people could still get through. So those are the basic changes we've talked about so far. Right now the architect has these ideas and is working on specifications for the equipment. And once she has that and can talk to the tradesmen, then she'll be able to get a quote for what this idea we have would cost. Thinking about remodeling this kitchen, Mary Lynn and I got married 47 years ago actually, and this kitchen is basically the same with the exception of maybe new stoves and refrigerators. And as long as I can remember, people have talked about how inadequate it is and the need to make some changes. So it seems like it's high time, and the timing is good, that we take a look at this and perhaps fix it up and make it more functional. A couple other things to mention. We talked about replacing the windows that are up here with energy efficient windows. As I had mentioned, these cabinets would be adjusted, maybe taken out altogether, and the opening raised so that this natural light you see could extend out into the rest of the basement area. There seems to be more than adequate storage, and by the use of drawers that are more efficient and those kind of things, there's a feeling that there would be adequate storage for all our needs in here.
So this is the rest of our basement, and as we all know, our basement is a home to many things. We have over 100 kids who are in Sunday school down here and for children's worship. We have our Sunnyside Mennonite Montessori school that's hosted down here. We host potlucks down here. We host a Thanksgiving dinner for those who are homeless down here. We've hosted families who are transitioning out of homelessness. They've stayed in our basement. Our basement for many years has been our home, our downstairs home that we've opened up to our community. And what we want to do now is we want to change it from a space that we can use to a space that we want to use. So I'm going to take you on a little tour to show you the different ways that we're going to improve our basement so that we're able to use it more effectively. So this right here, one of our ideas that we wanted to do was to create a living room space for all of us at PMC and in our community. So this has been our fireside room, and what we're imagining is we're imagining sofas over here, we're imagining bookshelves with books for children, we're imagining opening this up so the natural light can come in and turning this into our library that was previously located down at that end, is now located down at that end. So that we can have a space where people can come, small groups can come, groups from our community can come in, have a comfortable space to sit, talk about the things that matter, and get to know one another a little bit more. So one of the things that we want to do with our remodel that's been very important as we've gone through all of our meetings so far is to make this space a lighter and brighter space. To do that, we're going to be opening up some of these walls in here with sliding doors, and hopefully getting some light in from the kitchen as well. Another thing that we're going to be doing in here is we're going to be redoing the ceiling and putting in can lights that we can dim in order to be open to a broader range of activities in here, such as family reunions, wedding anniversaries, significant birthday parties, and other major events like that. One of the other things we're going to be doing in this space is redoing the floor so that we have a cohesive flooring in all of the lower level. When we talk about sliding doors to let more light in, this is what we're talking about. As we think of our basement remodel, we're wanting continuity with what our basement already feels like and the historic character of our building. One of our other goals in the remodel was to create more space for our children. We have over 100 children in our Children's Christian Ed program, and to create more room, we wanted to create 2 more classrooms. Our working idea right now, and as Lynn has said, all of our ideas are open to being molded over these next few months and maybe next year, but one of our ideas right now is to turn these 2 rooms, our current library and then one of our current storage rooms, into one big classroom that we're able to subdivide with sliding doors. One of the other things that we're hoping to do, again, with so many children, is to put 1 more stall in each one of our bathrooms, and in addition be able to put in a family bathroom, hopefully taking over our janitor's closet. We'll see if that works. When we talk about adding another classroom, this is one of the spaces that we're thinking about. You may never have seen this. This is one of our storage rooms, but this is what we're imagining could be turned into a possible another classroom. One of the other priorities that our committee is talking about is how to make a more welcoming entrance into our lower level. We really want our lower level to be a place where people are able to congregate and meet one another. We want new people to feel comfortable coming into this space. So we're working on ideas of how to make this entrance a more inviting place for people to enter into. I'm Britt,
And I'm Lynn.
and we approve this message.